Villages I drive through on the way to work have got Coronation plaques up on all the lampposts, so...
I love it.
It's nice, isn't it?
And when did they go up?
I only noticed them this morning.
Oh, there you go. Must have been a bank holiday effort in the local communities. Do send in your pictures if you're seeing those kind of things in your local area. I love it all. And that's because the King's coronation is just around the corner, just 1 week to go. But King Charles III will have a greater privacy than afforded to previous monarchs during one of the most sacred moments of the coronation.
Michael Cole, royal correspondent, can tell us more. Michael, in what way will the King get some more privacy?
Yeah, well, the anointing is very, very important during the ritual of the coronation, the most sacred, as you've just said, and the most intimate. And when the Queen was anointed in 1953, she just had a little canopy over her head, very, very similar to the chuppah, which is used in Jewish wedding ceremonies. The bridal pair stand under it. So it looked a bit like that. And at that point, the BBC cameras, who uniquely had been allowed in for this coronation, looked away because the monarch's hands, head and breast are anointed with the holy oil. Now, the King has made a change in this. He's commissioned a very, very beautiful screen which will enclose him on 3 sides. It's been made by 150 needlework specialists at the Royal School of Needlework at Hampton Court, a place I've actually visited, and it is fascinating. And it's beautifully designed, based on a window at the Chapel Royal in St James's Palace. And essentially, it's a beautiful tree, and each of the leaves, 54 leaves, bears the name of one of the countries of the Commonwealth. So this will enclose him while this ceremony, the anointing, goes on, and he will then be wearing a sort of simple white shirt. This is a very key point to it, and only after the anointing and the crowning and the expressions of loyalty, fealty, will he actually become king. A very important moment, the most important moment in the whole of his reign, be it long or short. That is the key thing. We won't be seeing it, but we'll know it's going on behind that beautiful screen.
And Michael, this is just one of the many ways in which we are going to see differences, aren't we, between King Charles III and his late mother's coronation all that time ago. He is keen, isn't he, to get his own stamp on things?
And he's doing it, very much so. It's all very much slimmed down. He wants to concentrate on the direct line of succession, which, of course, is the Prince of Wales, Prince William, and then his children, Prince George, Princess Charlotte, and Prince Louis, and simplify it to a large extent. The coronation service, when the Queen was crowned in June the 2nd, 1953, and I remember it terribly well. I was 10 years old. I won't give you a blow-by-blow, but I watched it on a 12-inch black and white screen with 17 other people who were crowded into the back room of our little house in the London suburbs. It's going to be different. The service itself will be 2 hours instead of the 3 hours with the Queen. And I don't know how they managed it last time, but they got 8,000 people within Westminster Abbey. Well, I think there were stands built and so on. This time it'll be just over 2,000, 2,300. And at the last time, every single peer, viscounts, dukes, earls, were all allowed in their robes and crowns. That and coronets, that will not happen this time. And it's a very much more diverse service with members of the various ethnic groups in this country fully represented, and the major religions as well. I mean, this is an Anglican service. That is absolutely central to it. The coronation oath requires the king to declare his loyalty to God, to the people, and to the Anglican Church. But other religions and churches will be fully represented there, and in the courtiers who will be paying attention to him and providing various moments in the service when they come forward to pay their own respects to the newly crowned Queen and king, of course, because Queen Camilla will also be crowned.
Can I just rewind you 4 minutes, Michael? Because I don't know, it intrigues me. I don't know what our viewers and listeners as well, hopefully so. You were talking about the anointing and what have you, and that is the point where Charles really becomes king. Well, what is he now? What is he now then? Because I've often wondered what the difference is between sort of the accession to the throne on the death of one monarch, and then the difference between that and when someone is actually crowned.
Yeah. Well, the Queen is dead. Long live the King. Yes, of course, on September the 8th, the sad day, the Queen died. He became king. But this, in liturgical terms, is the moment of the crowning. And that is terribly, terribly important because in centuries past, this was not just an idle ceremony. It was a ceremony to establish loyalty. Loyalty is the theme that runs through it. And it was indeed a matter of life and death. He had to make sure that everybody there was on his side. And that's why they kneel and they swear their oath of fealty to him, because it was very important. He had to know where his buddies were, and he had to keep the enemies outside. The enemies these days are a little bit different, but they're still there. So this is very, very important. Of course, he was king from the very moment, but this actually, in the eyes of God, makes sure that he is the rightly crowned and anointed king. And there is a sort of an element of consent in it, which you wouldn't get with the Romanovs in Russia or the Hohenzollerns in Prussia or the Habsburgs in Vienna, because first of all, he has to accept the oath. He has to accept the duty. He has to show his loyalty to the church, the people, and God himself. And then those people there present have to express their loyalty to him. It's not democratic in any sense, but there is that element of consent, so that when he is fully crowned and anointed, there's no doubt about it. He is the chosen by God to be king, not just of this realm, the United Kingdom, but of 14 overseas realms, many of them having adopted the Westminster system of government, which is where the king reigns but does not rule, where Parliament is sovereign, but it works rather well and has done for generations.
OK, Michael Kroll, really good to have you on the programme with us. Thank you very much.
Are you excited? Are you prepped?
Yeah.
Are you ready to roll?
Well, it's 1 week, as you said at the beginning, and about 3 hours. And, of course, I shall be with you down there. I hope wherever you are. I got the schedule yesterday. You're all over the place. I think you're at Canada Gate. You're in other places. So I shall be around. It is exciting. I mean, I remember the fervour that swept through the country, what people did. In our little cul-de-sac of 12 houses, 12 families decorated their houses overall. There was no passing traffic. There was nobody to see it. They were just doing it to express their patriotism. And every single primary school had an event. That was my first brush with the news. At Perrin Road Primary School, I dressed up in a costume made by my mother as a beefeater, and I was in the local paper. So that was my first brush with fame. Little did I know then that I would be with you on GB News all this time later in this excellent morning programme.
Well, look, and hopefully you'll be dressed as a beefeater when we see you next Saturday. Fabulous stuff. Michael, good to see you.
Listen, I mean, you were talking about beefeaters, and of course, and I heard all the wonderful stuff you were saying about barbecues. Now, what is it about men that they think that they can burn meat? Perhaps Ellie can express that one, because there's something they don't cook for 364 days of the year. On barbecue day, they suddenly become experts in burning meat. Isn't that correct?
I'm just as confused as you are, Michael, honestly. Women do it best, that's what I say.
Yes, well, you've let the side down, Michael. I may rescind your accreditation for Saturday, but good to see you.
Michael.
Thanks very much indeed.